It's been a while. Hello, and welcome back to Belmont Bunch. We're going to be going over the next 3 Islander games that were previously played.
The last 3 Islander games.
Welcome back to Belmont Bunch. Yeah. I hope if you had a 3-day weekend that it was fun. I got to watch the Jets actually win a football game this weekend, so that was quite funny. You know what? Let's focus on good New York teams for now and talk about the New York Islanders. The Islanders, coming off of a 9-game winning streak coming into these 3, they would push it to 10 against the least talented team in hockey. But yes, that is making fun of them. But they're being well coached. And you might say, how are they being well coached? Well, because, you know what? They're playing hard. That sounds so condescending. But they're playing, they have very little, high-class talent on this team. That isn't, young guys that are just figuring it out in the NHL level. But they're doing a good job. They push the Islanders pretty hard. I know currently, at the time of filming this, they are down 6-1. And th're about to fall to 4-10-1. But this is what we knew this team would be. But they're a little bit feistier on some nights, on this night in particular, and the night before when they kicked the crap out of the Rangers. That was funny. So in this game, we give up a shorthanded goal to start. That was unfortunate. Nemestikov on a really bad play by Pulock, which I haven't said very much so far. He just kind of leaves the puck behind the net while on the power play after Greiss retrieves. He's got Dobson right there to pass to. Dobson's waiting for the pass. I think he just left it for Nelson, who was skating back up ice and wasn't looking. So just a terrible, terrible look when an Ottawa player skates in between the 3 Islanders, throws it to the front, and it's a one-on-one with Greiss and Nemestikov, and it's put top shelf. So nothing Greiss could really do there. Really, really bad goal. But 40 seconds later, Cal Clutterbuck gets a nice tap-in on a rebound off of a Devon Toews shot. Devon Toews, who's having a great season so far. And Cizikas, great work screening the goalie. Clutterbuck had time, as Cizikas tied up the other defenseman, to tap it in. So the fourth line was kind of the go-to this week, as you can see by the stats. Following this, the tying goal, the Islanders would get a penalty shot. Cole Bardreau, I think it's his 3rd breakaway of the year. He gets tripped out on this one. The first 2 he got stopped on. It's a chance for his first NHL goal. It's a feat not many other players have done. He does it. He's able to squeeze it just through the pads of Craig Anderson, who definitely is too old for this. He really doesn't want to be in Ottawa anymore, as evidenced by his trade request last year. But Bardreau gets his first career goal. It's a really fun moment because the guy, it's his first NHL experience these past few weeks. And you can tell how much he's meshed with the other guys because he's, doing his, skates by the bench, high-fiving all the teammates. The teammates are just tackling him. It's a really fun thing to see. And though he got sent down, I think he's made an impression with Trotz that he can fill in if the injuries persist. So good stuff for Cole. The New York native, too. The Islanders, they pretty much started to control play after that. We do commit a penalty, and Cal Clutterbuck continued his brilliance. He wins the puck. Instead of just dumping it, he looks up, sees the Ottawa players are, for some reason, going off for a change while the other team has the puck. Really dumb play by Ottawa. But Clutterbuck, smart play, goes up the ice, doesn't dump it, sees he's developing a 2-on-1 with Cizikas. A great backhand pass. Cizikas one-times it basically through the net. Another one, no chance for Anderson. So now it's 3-1. We have a shorthanded goal, and we're looking pretty comfortable. And not long after that, Noah Dobson gets the puck, just chucks it on net. Smart play, because Josh Bailey, with a great tip-in, continues to be fantastic to start the year. And I'm sure many fans will still make fun of him for some reason. Thomas Greiss was very, very good in this game. Power play, you can see it's very much cooled off, but the penalty kill has been really, really, really good. In fact, 2 shorthanded goals this week. Not bad for the penalty kill. 1 goal allowed on the penalty kill. 2 scored. while shorthanded. Not bad at all. We outshot a team for once, so that's good. So maybe the stats people will start to give us some credit. Yeah, so that pretty much does it for that. So that was the Islanders' 10th straight win, which prompted me to go to the next game, and now I'll never go to another game. No, yeah, let's not talk. So let's move on to Florida. No, so yeah, I was at this game. Good crowd at the Barclays. A lot of Pittsburgh fans too, though. Rational side of my brain, nerdy hockey fan side. So, it's a weird feeling going to a game during a streak like this. First of all, like, these streaks are so rare, especially for the Islanders, that I've never been to a game where I was almost like getting myself mentally ready to watch them lose. That's just a really defeatist mindset, and don't do that in life. It's not good for you. The record is 15 for the Islanders, and it just feels like eventually, during this streak, we talked about it at points. Not every game was a game that they outplayed the other team. So you're like, eventually, we're going to have a game where we're not going to get rewarded for not playing well enough. We saw it we talked about the Blues game, perfect example. We played 5 good minutes and we won that game. You can't do that. And we got away with it. This might be the game that you can point back to and be like, that is revenge of the hockey gods for us having a game where we only played 5 good minutes and won. This game, I guess the revenge would be eventually we're going to play a game where we dominate the other team and still lose. This was not that. We did not play well. We took advantage of our opportunities. You have to give credit to Clutterbuck, another shorthanded goal in this game. It started with Cizikas, 19 seconds in. Smart play, just good hockey IQ of going to the net. You never know what's going to happen. Shot off the glass. I think it hit off the post and then off the glass. Comes down behind the net. Goalie has no idea where it is. And at 19 seconds, Cizikas is there to just flip it into the empty net. And now the left side, the rational side of my brain, I can't remember which side is which. I was a comms major. We're up 1-0, and now all of a sudden the fan side of me is like, wait a second. We could win 10 in a row. And we will. And that's where I got ahead of myself. What?
11 in a row.
Oh, yes. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. We talked about Cizikas. We score a shorthanded goal in the first 10 seconds of the Penguins' first power play to make it 2-0 in the second. We were outshot in the first. In the second, I believe we outshot them. We played mostly well in the first half of the second. Pellich scores from Barzal to make it 3-0 on a big deflection. So we were up 3-0, but there were 3 weird bounces. The Cizikas goal off the glass. Really weird bounce. Second goal, I think it hits the stanchion and jettisons out into the middle of the ice where Clutterbuck can beat the last defenseman and slot it between Murray's legs. And then the Pellich goal, hey, putting it on target is never a bad thing, but a massive deflection and good traffic in front keeps Murray from having any shot at it. So now it's 3-0 after 2, and I think a complacency set in because maybe it's because the Islanders weren't being punished for not playing well at points during this 10-game winning streak. And Pittsburgh stuck to a game plan. They're a very experienced team. They know when things are working. They know when things will work. It wasn't working through 40 minutes, but they kept at it. They didn't really do anything different. They kept shooting from the point, looking for deflections. It worked on the first goal, although Varlamov may want the first one back. I believe a Brian Rush shot from the point. That just a little bit of traffic in front, but Varlamov looked a little bit lost on that one. So now it's 3-1, and the Islanders get a golden chance to make it 4-1. Beauvillier, not a bad shot. I'm not going to blame Beauvillier, although if it was Dalco, I would blame him. Beauvillier, the goalie's down and out, Matt Murray. Beauvillier is going to backhand it to make it 4-1 Islanders. At that rate, even with how well Pittsburgh was playing, I think the Islanders just are able to hold off if they are able to reestablish a 3-goal lead, because they can, get back into the mindset of, oh my God, we got to remember that we're playing the Penguins, who are still a good team, and we're not outplaying them even though we're winning. They didn't have time to think of that, because by the time I was done yelling, how did he not score that, they've gone down the ice and scored, Pittsburgh, right off that ensuing rush. Really, really good shot. This one Varlamov just Just got beat. Tough one. Really, really good shot. And now everyone in the arena is clenching, except for the multitude of Pittsburgh fans who are having a lot of fun with this. Unfortunately, a few minutes later, puck hits off the post. Varlamov is lost. Malkin taps it into an empty net. And it's 3-3, 9 minutes after the start of the third period. And we were lucky that it wasn't 6-3 at the end of the third. We were outshot badly. It was really scary because, you could say this of a lot of goalies. After that third goal goes, actually after the first goal went in, I think Varlamov was a little bit shaken, and then the second goal goes in, and at that point it feels like the net is a soccer net. He looked shooketh after the second goal. The third goal, though it wasn't his fault, he just looked a little bit out of sorts. I guess you could say that of the whole team at this point. A little bit shell-shocked to have blown a 3-goal lead in 9 minutes in the midst of our triumph of trying to go for 11 wins. We do get it to OT miraculously, and in overtime, Brock Nelson does not protect the puck, and Brian Rust wraps it around. Varlamov doesn't have a shot at this one, and the streak's over. And the Islander fan next to me threw a beer can at one of the Pittsburgh fans, and I was like, hey, we're getting out of here. So, yeah, I ran out of the stadium. I am proud of that, because I didn't get into any fights. And
that actually happened.
That did happen.
Did you get into a fight?
I don't know. I got out of there too quickly. This game, they can learn from it, though. We talked about it in between one of these takes when I was rambling like a madman and couldn't get my thoughts together. But now I sort of can. So I think this is an important game for the Islanders this year because they need to know that you can't take anything for granted, especially against an opponent like Pittsburgh, but really against anybody. And it was the first time I've had a problem with something Trotz did or didn't do in this situation, which is call a timeout after giving up the second goal, because we needed a rest. Actually, I would have called it after the first goal just because of the way the game flow was going. We were getting massively outplayed, and even after the first goal, you could tell we were in danger. But we don't call the timeout until, I believe, after the third goal. And at that point, I was like, that is 2 goals too late. So a very, very rare, I think, lapse for Barry Trotz. But also the players, because they just didn't show up in the third. Yeah, they kind of deserve this. Pittsburgh played better than them. You can see it by the shots. I think it's just one of those games that'll help them by the end of the year because it's a game where you'll remember, because now you'll never want to feel that feeling again. So the streak now at this point is now a point streak instead of a win streak. So now the Islanders try to go 13 consecutive games without a regulation loss, and they succeed, mostly due to Thomas Greiss and his incredible, incredible work in net. I love you. So this game had a lot of things happen for a 2-1 hockey game. Let's start with the Islanders getting a goal disallowed very early. Anders Lee, it was ruled, incidentally contacted the goalie. Let's talk about the things that was wrong with this call. It was kind of, the initial contact was outside of the crease. So at that point, the goalie's out at his own risk. Lee, I don't believe he creates the contact. I believe the goalie skates into him. And also, he barely fucking touched him. Demonetized! Can we bleep that?
No. We can't afford bleeping.
Alright, a few minutes later, we score a real goal. Even though the other one was too, but I'll get at you, NFL refs. NFL refs too. Refs just on the mind right now. I hate refs. Yeah, how dare you do this thankless job. Barzal scores for real after that on a sick play. Sick like me. That's why I look like shit this week. It's not. That's another curse. That's 2.
Oh, I think it's another, self-defeating
nope,
thing. No.
I'm actually getting physically ill from how sick this goal was. I think just after the power play had expired, a shot goes to the net. Nelson alertly throws it into the crease. It goes all the way through to Barzal, who fakes a shot, gets Sergei Bobrovsky and both Florida defensors. What? Both Florida defensemen and Bobrovsky to slide out of their jocks into the boards, through the boards, and out of the arena, and he backhands it in. That actually happened. So that makes it 1-0 Islanders. I needed, after that goal was scored, I just needed to go for a walk. Because it was so nice. Florida would tie this game in the third off of, on a power play that also shouldn't have happened. This game, really, the referee's awful in this game. Scott Mayfield is going to throw the puck down the ice to help kill the penalty. He is blatantly hooked and falls down, and while on his knees, just does what he can to throw it up ice, but can't get enough on it to get it out because he was just hooked. And Florida finds a way to get a shot on goal from the point. Grice scrambling is just not able to get to the rebound that gets tapped in. And the referees owed us one. And luckily, something would happen that would... The referees really had their fingerprints all over this game. So we would then take the lead. Scott Mayfield just threw the puck to the net, hit 2 Florida defensemen. It's a really weird game. I think people have been saying the Barclays Center ice is really bad. It was in good shape for the Ottawa game, which was our first game at the Barclays this year. Actually, all these games were home games. I'm worried. We're playing a lot of home games early. We're going to play on the road a lot late. I forgot to mention, this was our second home opener because we're the only team in the league with 2 homes. Soon to be 3. Belmont Bunch. The Mayfield goal initially given to Lee, but then they realized it just hit off 3 other random players in front of the net and went in, and that is fine by me. So 2-1 Islanders at that point. On another Florida power play a few minutes later, Florida ties the game. And you may be saying, but wait, Tom, this game was 2-1. How could Florida have scored again? And I would say, to you, straw man viewer, who doesn't exist because you probably watched the game, 50-50, I don't know. Florida scores a goal that gets disallowed. Grice makes an absolutely unbelievable stop, as he was doing throughout the night. A lot of one-timers where he was just able to get over, he, fantastic waffle-boarded save, and it pops all the way back up in the air, to which one of the Florida players just hacks at it from the middle of the air, and it goes in. You can't do that, so it didn't count. So the referees remembered the rules at the right time. They owed us one there. And that goal is disallowed. The Islanders do not fold to the pressure this time around. And the point streak is 13, with 12 of those being wins. Thomas Grice is God. Have I told you about the religion I'm starting? It's called Thomas Grice is Wunderwahl. Because he is German.
Is he German?
Oh, yeah. He is the best goalie in the league, and Robin Lehner is number 2, and everything is right in the world. The Islanders in this game keep even with Florida's high-powered offense, shooting-wise. Great job by both goalies in this game. Bobrovsky stood on his head for the first time this year. It's funny, when goalies get paid 7 years, $10 million a year, they just stop caring for some reason. But he played well in this game, well enough to get me a win in fantasy, but not well enough for the Islanders not to win. So, beautiful. Mwah, mwah. All right. That being said, I think we're going to move on before I embarrass myself further. Now we're in the Stars of the Week section, and I forgot to put the stats up. So, All right, so now we're on...
Tom, do you always yell like that?
Don't question me. Thomas Grice, unquestionably, I don't know why I did that, best player of the week, won both his starts, .969, nice save percentage, unbelievable. He stole the Florida game. Clutterbuck, 2 shorthanded points, 2 goals, 1 assist. Fantastic work on the penalty kill. And Cizikas, his partner in crime, 2 goals, 2 assists. Also had a shorthanded goal that was assisted by Clutterbuck. The sin bin, we had a discussion about this. It was tough to single out a player because he really just the performance in general was bad against Pittsburgh. I gave it to Nelson, which is kind of rough because now he's been the only 2 real ones that we did, because we had the joke one week on Boychuk, and then otherwise we didn't have a sin bin because they were playing so well. So I don't want to pick on Nelson. I just think he makes a bad play behind the net, and obviously in a week where you go 2-0-1, there's not a ton of bad things to go over. Just Nelson behind the net, not a great not a strong play, we'll call it, to get your pocket picked in overtime from behind the net when you give your goalie no chance. I would rather see Nelson just hack the guy's stick in half and take the slashing penalty and force them to score on the power play rather than just let the guy wrap it around on Varlamov. And yeah, unfortunately Nelson has been kind of invisible, but so is Dal Cole, and I had to just get that in. But yeah, that's it for this week. 13-game point streak. I will be in attendance Wednesday for the Toronto game, and we will see what happens there. No Mitch Marner for Toronto. Tavares coming back to the island again. Hopefully it's not as rowdy as last time. I don't know if I could take that. Hope it's a good crowd, though. Should be. All right, remember, please give this video a like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. I don't care. It's engagement either way. And subscribe. Yeah, so I'm gonna exit stage right.
No, we're millennials.
No, I know.
Yeah. We're just barely.
Well, yeah, because Gen Z is behind us. Yeah, I already don't understand Gen Zers, which makes me very uncomfortable because they're only like a year or two younger than me.
They're TikTok and...
Yeah, no, it's actually kind of funny how much of a disconnect there is 2 years apart. I already don't understand people.
I actually, there's a girl that's a student at the school,
Mm-hmm.
at the nameless school I work at.
Yeah, we'll keep this in. That's fine.
And she literally doesn't use Facebook because she thought it was already around when she was in high school. Like, it was too old when she was in high school. I was like,
yeah.
What? MySpace was too old when I was in high school.
And I know we only use Facebook now for birthdays.
Yeah.
but I did think this was funny because at school that I went to in college, which I will reveal at some point because I had the hockey jersey from there, so I'm going to wear it at some point.
Yeah, it'll be a big reveal. Well, that'll be like our 25 subscriber,
Please subscribe.
And hit the bell.
Yeah. Facebook group for our club soccer program at school I went to when I was there. And it was a certified club and everything. We'd schedule like times to play and everything. And we hadn't been we're still all on it because we haven't gotten over the fact that we're not in college anymore. And we don't see them posting anymore. So recently when we went back to Baltimore, the city of school, we were like, well, why doesn't anybody post anymore, even though you guys still play? And they were like, oh no, we're on Snap now. We don't, and like I have Snapchat too, but I don't use it enough to like be able to communicate solvent messages.
Snapchat